Hello students of class 8. Today I am going to explain chapter 6 combustion and flame on request of a very good student Sambhav Jha. So let's start this chapter. We need energy to perform various activity and we all know this energy comes from food we eat. Food is broken down to release energy through the process of respiration by combining with oxygen. In other words, we can say that food acts as the fuel that gives energy to our body. Just like food, CNG, LPG, charcoal, cow dung, these also gives us energy, so these are called fuel. Then we can say that the burning of anything in this atmosphere is called combustion, which gives us energy. But not all the materials are combustible. That means that cannot be burnt every material. So now let's have a definition of combustion. We therefore define combustion as a chemical reaction between a substance and oxygen that results in the production of heat and or light energy. As you all know that nothing is burning in this atmosphere without oxygen. If oxygen is not present in the atmosphere, nothing will be burnt. So, in this sense, we can say oxygen is the supporter of combustion. Okay? So again we see here oxidation of food inside the body during respiration is also an example of combustion. Combustion may or may not always involve the production of a flame or light. For example, during respiration there is no flame or light produced, but it is a combustion process because it gives us energy to do various activities. All right. Now, what are the conditions required for combustion? So, the conditions, as I told earlier, that combustion cannot take place if any of the following is absent. A combustible material, that means the material that can be burnt in presence of temperature or heat. Second one, a supporter of combustion, that is oxygen, and an ignition temperature, that is the temperature at which anything burn. So now first of all, combustible material. The definition is substances which undergo the process of combustion are called combustible substances. Examples are paper, wood, cloth, cotton, LPG, kerosene, etc. But if we want to burn water or steel or iron, then it cannot be burned. So it is not a combustible material. Only these are the combustible material. Now second one is material which do not undergo the process of combustion at all are called non-combustible substances such as iron, steel and glass. Next, supporter of combustion. For combustion to take place, the presence of oxygen is necessary because oxygen is a supporter of combustion. Now, a new term you can see here, ignition temperature. So, as I told that every combustible material has a definite temperature below which it cannot be burnt. This is called the ignition temperature or kindling temperature. That means if we want to burn a matchstick, incense stick, it cannot burn as soon as possible because we have to put the flame on it for some time, then it burn. So that minimum temperature at which the incense stick starts burning is called its ignition temperature or kindling temperature. You can do this experiment at your home. Now, inflammable substances. So substances which have a very low ignition temperature get ignited by the supply of even a small amount of heat. Such substances are called as inflammable substances. Examples: kerosene, petroleum, phosphorus and sodium. White phosphorus has such a low ignition temperature that even a little heat produced by rubbing it against a surface can ignite it. That is why it is used in matchstick. So, so next, controlling fire. We have already learnt in our previous classes, so we don't need to explain this one. So how? Here it is. Fires can be extinguished by using either of following ways: by removing the combustible substances from the place of the fire and its surroundings. Second, by cutting off the supply of oxygen by lowering the temperature of the burning object below its ignition temperature by adding a non-supporter of combustion like carbon dioxide. So first one is removing the combustible substances. It is difficult to remove the burning substance after it catches fire, but we can remove other combustible substances from its surrounding. Second one is cutting off the supply of oxygen. If we cut off air contact with fire by separating the two by some non-combustible substances, the fire will not get a sufficient supply of oxygen and will be extinguished. For this, we can cover the burning object with a woolen blanket, throw sand or soil on the fire because it cuts the supply of oxygen. Third one is throw water on the fire. So it helps in extinguishing the fire. Third one is lowering the temperature below ignition point. You may have seen people throwing a large amount of water over fire. This is because water not only cuts off the supply of air but also helps to lower the temperature of the burning object. So water takes away the heat from the fire and thus temperature of the burning body is lowered below the ignition temperature and fire is extinguished. So water plays an important role in extinguishing the fire by lowering the temperature below its ignition point. It becomes the material becomes cooled down by the spraying water over it. Now types of combustion. Combustion is of two types: complete combustion and incomplete combustion. So incomplete combustion, a substance completely burns to consume all the fuel without leaving any unburnt residue or producing any smoke. In this type of combustion, smoke is not evolved during combustion and not any unburnt residue. Unburnt residue means carbon. Unburnt carbon, if left any in the fuel, that then it is it's glowing. So in complete combustion, total consumption of fuel takes place. Second one is incomplete combustion. Incomplete combustion, a substance does not burn completely because the fuel contains moisture or impurities or oxygen is not present sufficient amount. It leaves some unburnt residue along with production of smoke and carbon monoxide, even hydrocarbons, in the absence of sufficient air. And then next one is rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, explosion. We can see often in our atmosphere that LPG burns instantly, giving out large amount of heat. So it is a rapid combustion. And when sodium catches fire, that means the combustible substance suddenly starts burning when come in contact with air. So it is a spontaneous combustion. And explosion, that is a type of combustion that involves a drastic release of heat and light energy with a blast or force accompanied by evolution of gas such as firecrackers and bomb. It suddenly explodes and gives so much light energy and a blast of force. So next one is flame. You have already seen in your house when there is a load shedding, you lit a candle and a flame is appearing. So a flame is the visible and glowing part of fire that contains burning gases and produces heat and light. You can see different zones in this candle flame. That is the outermost zone that cannot be seen, but it is blue in color. That means complete combustion takes place in this region when air is sufficiently provided. And this is the darkest zone. That means it glows rapidly with yellow flame because some unburned carbon is still left with wax moisture. Wax evaporating and gives some moisture or vapor, and some moisture are also present in this darkest zone, this innermost zone, that where incomplete combustion takes place. And the innermost, this is black color darkest zone, that is where no burning takes place due to insufficient supply of oxygen or supporter. So this is non-luminous zone, ठीक है, and this is luminous zone, and this is complete combustion external or outermost blue zone. Okay, that's all for today in this video. Thank you.